Stock of the day, though, which I picked something in the news, thought we'd take a look at Harvey Norman, has downgraded its earnings guidance, forecasting full-year underlying profit of around $670 million. Net property revaluations for 12 months are expected to be approximately $119 million. Bit of an update on Harvey Norman there. On a day where the inflation figure surprised us all on the good side, dropping to 5.6%, easing pressure on the Reserve Bank to maybe not increase interest rates next week. Henry Jennings, first of all, interest rate, inflation figure, good for the market, good for retailers, do you think?
Yes, very good. It was a very good figure, wasn't it?
Yep.
We even had the Canadian figure came out last night as well, 3.4%.
Wow.
We're 5.6. Our economies are not dissimilar in lots of ways, both very much focused on resources. So that is a good sign. 5.6 is a cracking number.
From 6.8 to 5.6, that's a big drop.
It is a big drop. There was a bit of a statistical anomaly last month, which pushed it up, and everyone got really their knickers in a bit of a twist about that. This number is a good number, and of course we've got the RBA next week.
Yes.
You would have to think that Phil Lowe is going to be less hated maybe come Tuesday at about 2:31, because we might see him actually pause and wait and see how this pans out. This is a monthly figure though.
Yes.
So bear in mind, monthly figures are a new thing that the ABS has brought in. We used to just only rely on quarterlies. Yeah. But interestingly, while I was driving in today to the studio from God's country up on the northern beaches, petrol in the garage had a $1.60. Not quite that low, but 167, 168. Now that is a big plus as far as inflation goes, and we're seeing that in the figures, and we could continue to see that as long as the oil price stays low. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good number. The market loved it after all that angst that we had last week on Thursday and Friday. Here we are fighting our little way back again.
Okay, is it good for retailers? What do you think of, and in particular Harvey Norman?
I think it is certainly better for retailers. Retailers have been punished recently. It's been downgrade after downgrade after downgrade.
Yep.
I guess the good thing you could say about Harvey Norman is it wasn't really much of a downgrade or an upgrade, really. It was just a sort of an update more than anything else. Lots of shorts around in this stock. People love to hate it. It's also not the most transparent of stocks. Counting issues have always sort of been question marks over Harvey Norman. Big property portfolio that's being revalued, obviously. That's part of the uplift. But also it doesn't look as if things are as bad as some thought. It's up 4% and a bit today. Other retailers, I suspect, will breathe a bit of a sigh of relief as well and say, okay, maybe things aren't as bad. But good number from inflation, that does help retailers.
Is Harvey Norman on your buy list at the moment?
No.
No?
No. I think there's other retailers that have been really smacked. Premier Investments is one. I guess Lovisa is another one that has been well and truly hit very hard. So that there's a number of retailers, Universal Stores as well, that's been hit hard. So if you're looking around for bargains in the retail space, looking at beyond the horizon, I guess there are probably ones that interest me more than Harvey Norman. I still struggle to get my head around the fact that it's a property company that has franchisees and that sells. It's all a bit complex. It's quite complex.
But they do own all stores, though.
They do own all the stores. It's like McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't sell hamburgers. McDonald's is a property company, and Harvey Norman, to some extent, is a bit of a property play, and that's what Jerry Harvey always says. The property's worth this. Why aren't you valuing us? But you know, the only tenants for those properties tends to be Harvey Norman. So who else is going to take them?
You'd think you'd do yourself a good deal on the rent. Anyhow.
I'd say so.
So I know for you on Harvey Norman, Andrew, first of all, bullish for the market with this inflation figure?
Yeah, no, that as Henry said, you know, the market was expecting a number with a 6. So starting with a 6 to come in at 5.6 was a pleasant surprise. And obviously that's why, you know, things are kicking along today. It takes a little bit of pressure off the RBA for next month, but still I think there's probably 2 more rate rises coming in. We probably just delayed the inevitable. But look, I'll take a relief rally. That's great. And then if we're talking about Harvey Norman specifically, I think Henry's summed it up pretty well. It's been really well run for Jerry and his family. But in the context of sort of that transparency piece, it's probably a bit harder to get a read on. And yeah, I mean, again, I don't need to labour that point. So from my point of view, Henry's spot on. There's plenty of quality retailers about, I don't mind JB Hi-Fi either. Certainly Lovisa's there in the mix. But Harvey Norman probably wouldn't be in my top 3 retailers.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'll just take a look at Lovisa, up 61 cents today. It was $27 around, when was it? About March. Now $18.75. So Daniel Ortizi from Stock Doctor mentioned them on Monday as well, saying he was more interested in terms of retailers and companies like that. Lovisa's really been smacked around. So interesting.
Good business.
Yeah. All right.